Morning. All right, so let's take some notes on this here today, guys. This is the entire session from the NYMEX from 8:30 yesterday to 1:30. And I'm going to show you the 24-hour chart also. So this is a 1-1-30 chart with the NYMEX RTH6. The reason I got the NYMEX in here, it gives us fresh liquidity grab, supply, and demand zones to buy and sell off of. What I want to go over today with you is how to trade zones with trend only. Clay was in here yesterday and mentioned about these zones, about how we can widen the zones a little bit and catch more setups during the trading day. I had put a wider zone in there in the room, and I want to make sure you guys understand how to do that if you want more setups during the day. So we're going to go over that this morning. So what I'm showing you is I'm showing you the 8:30, or it's actually 8:30 to 1:30 of all the trades, the qualified trades that occurred yesterday on the S&P. We had 4 qualified trades with trend only. So let's get right into it. Gerald, make sure we're recording this so we got it. Yeah, we're good. So first of all, I'm using, members, you can jot this down on your notes. I'm using 1-1-30, a NYMEX Metals RTH6 to find fresh supply and demand liquidity grab zones where the market likes to reverse inside of these zones. Consequently, what I got is I've got the trend zones on here, and I want to show you how you can get more trade setups during the trading session. Let's go into the sim tick strategy. If you go into the sim tick strategy, there's an option up here called the trend. I have an Unirenko trend. Under the members download page, I got 1-1-100 underneath here. That's going to give you less setups. If you want more setups, change it to a 1-1-65. If you want less setups, keep it at 1-1-100. Okay? 1-1-65, you can change to a 1-1-65. That's going to give you a sensitive, like we had ever since we opened the trading room, or ever since we've been doing the zone trading, since we got this back tested over 30 plus years as the best zone. I've always used a 1-1-65. You can use a 1-1-100. You're just going to get less trades. Okay? So make sure we understand that. All right? Hand me a Y if you understand that, members, first, and let me move on to the second criteria to get more setups with these zones. Do we all understand that? Go into the strategy where you're going to see these zones, the sim tick, and change from 1-1-100 to 1-1-65. You're going to get a more sensitive trend zone filter on the back tested 30-year zone. This is what we back tested for the last 30 years in the first place, is a 1-1-65. You want less trades, do the 1-1-100. It's totally preference. Secondly, what we want to do is we want to come into the indicators. I only put one indicator on here, the 25 setting, to show you. I didn't want to, what the feedback I've been getting from members, there's just, some members don't like all the lines on top of each other. They don't like the longer, deeper liquidity grabs, the 100 and 200 over top the 25. So what I'm showing you in this video is a 25 only. To get more 25 trades, meaning this is a sim Renko. This is our proprietary Renko bar type. It just start trading right now. Fresh lines are going to start printing. Sim Renko bar type. Let me get this out of the way. It starts printing from 8:30 fresh lines until 1:30. What I want you to do is go into your indicator. If you want to see these trades more clearly, separate the 100 and 200 deep retracements from the 25 retracements, because the zones, because you can see them more clearly. This is a 25 sim. But what I want you to jot down your notes is this. And I'm going to leave this in the room for you to see more setups. Take the second ATR ticks, and Clay brought this up yesterday because this is what I was using. I'm glad Clay brought this up to me. You can go all the way down to a 28 on the second ATR ticks. Do not go below 28. Our standard zone's been 54.38. That's what our standard zone's been ever since we've been running our trend zone. What you can do is go down to 54.30. I was telling Clay yesterday, you don't want to go below a 54.28, or historically speaking, the past 30 years, the accuracy goes way down. So you want to at least keep the lower number above 28. I like keeping the top number at 54. You can go as high as 62 if you want. So statistically speaking, 62 is your highest range. Lowest range is 28. I like 54.30 is what you see a ton of trades at 54.30. 54.38, if you want to leave it there, you're just going to see less trades. If you want to see more trades, open the ATR ticks to 30, okay, under the indicator. Are we all on the same page? Give me a Y that you can under the indicator, under the sim outer edge to see these zones, we can put this down to 30. Do you guys understand that? You can widen your zone to get more setups. We're not widening it that much, but we're widening the zone so we can get a zone trend trade with 30-year back-tested trend. By doing that, it's going to add more setups for you during the day off this more shallower trades, because you don't get a lot of trades off the 25 with trend, because it's got to pull back specifically inside that zone and reverse the zone. But when you put 30 in, you get a lot more setup. So that's what I wanted to show you today. So as we watch for trades this morning, we're going to watch for this. So let me blow this up and let me show you how these trades work. So when you go down to a 65, 1165, my 30-year back tested zone is going to be more sensitive. Okay, like we've always done. We've always had it in here in the room ever since we brought out this algorithm. If you don't want it more sensitive and you want it for these to connect more and be all red all day, like this would be red, 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 and only get a couple cells. I think it produced 3 or 4 cells yesterday, no buys at all. Then you can leave it at 1,100. It's totally preference. I like the 1,165 for more trades off the 25. Now what you can do is this. Let's go through all the trades, all the qualified trades that it did, specifically going into the entire NYMEX session, 8:30 until 1:30, and I'll show you how we qualify these trades today. We're going to look for, and then we'll go into the longer Renko sizes that we talked about. I'm going to separate for you and see if you guys like it separated better so it doesn't confuse you when to buy and sell. So as you can tell, we are green. My 30-year back tested zone is green. This is the 1,165 zone. It's rolling up, rolling up, rolling up. We come inside my zone. Right here is my 25 buy zone right here. It comes inside of it. It's got to reverse inside of it. It does not reverse. Then my trend zone changes. I start getting these sell zones, my 25 sell zones. It comes up at 9:30. It reverses, does not close. It cannot close outside of my zone. It reverses exactly at inside my zone. That's the first trade setup. All right, then we get rolling. We come back up again. We do not close inside my zone here. So since we do not close on the retracement, I mean reverse inside my zone, not a trade. But look at my sensitive back tested zone. It turns green. Now we're looking for buy retracements. Keep it this simple. The buy retracements right here now turn green. My 25 zone, my sim zone, that's our proprietary Renko bar type. That produces zone because all the filters are built into it. Price gets into it. You get the nice reversal, and that happened at 9:50 time of day trade. 9:50, 9:40, we love those time of day trades, and we got a nice reversal buy. Gets moving up. Then we come in, and we come into the zone again. Does not reverse, non-qualified trade. Breaks market structure. That means it typically tanks. And then we get rolling all the way over. Let me show you, all the way over into our buy setup. We did get a reversal at the 11:30. This is another point. From 11:15 to 11:45, dead time in the S&P. This you should not trade. We went over this in the room so many times. 11:15 to 11:45 is a dead time in the S&P because the algorithms right there. 11:15 was 11:15. 11:15 to 11:45, non-trade zone. Do not trade that trade zone. We go over this all the time. So then it turns green here about 11:45, starts trading again, starts turning green. We get into inside my buy zone. My buy zone is here. We get a nice reversal, nice pop in the market. We still stay green. Stay green. You're looking for reversal inside of the buy zone, 25. Get right inside it, reverse, and the market just takes off like crazy from 35 all the way up to 55 for 20 S&P points into 130. Okay, so let me skin that down in this session and show you. So those are the qualified. This is the no trade zone. Remember, don't trade the algorithm or these setups between 11:15, 11:45. Ever since we opened the trading room, we've been telling you guys that algorithms gets a little cranky during then on these algos, and you do not want to trade that no trade zone. But then here's a sell. There's your buy. There's your buy. There's sell, all with trend zone. Okay. At 130, this is going to stop trading. At 130, it's going to stop trading. What if this is in a setup at 130? What if we come into a setup and it starts, has a setup at 130? Switch over to your 24/7 chart. Your 24/7 chart will be the same way. Your 24/7 chart, it'll pick right where this left off. And typically you're right into a viable, let's say you're into a trade setup right at 120, 125. The 24/7 picks it right up, and it's a viable setup that you can trade. Okay. So now we're starting to trade zones. It's 132. It's starting to print zones now. Now we got a buy zone. This will be our buy zone. So this is going to even itself out. There's our buy zone we want to concentrate on this morning. Okay. So very, very simple how to trade this now off of just looking at your buy and sell zones based upon your trend only. Okay. So the only thing you can do to be more sensitive, go into your strategy. Like I said, play this video in the beginning, change to 1/165 and do the 25 setting. Now, that being said, I don't have the 100 and 200 to overlap this. I want to let this trade a day like this morning, just so you can see these setups very clearly. I feel you put too many lines on top of this, it sort of gets a little bit overkill. A lot of you guys like doing that, but I want to separate today and tomorrow and just show you that when these larger Renko size trades come up, zones. All right, let's go to yesterday. Let's go to our NYMEX. Now the NYMEX is 830 to 130. Now what we want to do, these are the larger zones. You're looking for major reversals. Now I want to go over this real quick so you understand it. You're looking for major possible reversals in the market. Yesterday and today, yesterday the market opened up at 830. It came down to this major buy zones. These are major possible reversals. It caught the high at 1059 for a major possible reversals. These zones are not going to be with trend. Okay, they're going to be against trend. However, they will come up with trend, 65 trend or 100 trend. If you see it come up with trend, look for a parabolic move in the market. Okay, it's happened last week, happened earlier this week where it came up with trend. These deep zones came up with the 65 trend, pulled back into them. We got a parabolic move. All right. So if you are red on your trend filter and you come up into this longer Renko right here, major buy and sell zone, this is our 100 and 200 sim Renko liquidity grab buy and sell zones. These are the type of moves you get. 47.5 down to 20, right? Potential. So almost 30 S&P point move. It's easier for you guys to put this on a separate chart to see the difference in the setups. So what I would do, I would put these in, there's only two major setups we had yesterday. They were right there, right at 1049, one at 930, one at 935, and one at 949. So what I'm going to do, and then remember, you can switch this over to the 24-hour chart. If you do a 24-hour chart, it runs 24 hours, right? So if I go a 24-hour chart, had a huge trade last night. It works 24 hours around the clock. Big trade last night when I was watching it in the evening after the market opened up at 6 p.m. So if you do 24/7 chart, it's going to change your zones to a 24/7 chart. It runs 24/7 for you European traders. Here's one at 2 a.m. this morning for you European traders. Man, these deep zones are awesome. They are awesome. You just right here came down to deep zone at 2:45 in the morning. I told yesterday. I think it's someone in here. Who was it? Fred. Fred, I told you, European trader. Remember I said start trading this near the London Open. Remember I said that, the London Open? Same trade happened yesterday near the London Open right there. Caught that big low, and you had a nice push in the morning to the upside. Last night at 22:05, as I was watching last night, big came down to it, big giant push. You got a big sell set up at last night, buy set up. So the 24 session, you can run the same way. You look at the same way on the 24 session after your, here's a 230 trade, 235 trade. Right here's a big hit in the market. This is a 2 o'clock trade, 203. This is after the 130 session. So switch it over, guys. Switch over your charts to the 24/7 right at 1:25 in the afternoon Eastern Standard Time. Switch it to the 24 session. You're going to get some big possible trades off these zones. Right there. Big possible trades. Another one. There's one at 2 o'clock. One at 2:03. Here's one at 11:44. So they still, I like the NYMEX. NYMEX, here's a 24/7 at 9:48, and so on. So switch over your 24 one, and you'll be good to go. So today, I'm going to put this in here like this so you can see it really clear. So I'm going to put this up. Here's our major buy levels right now. I'm going to put this over here, and we're going to keep this trend zone very clear for you to see today also. So right now it's setting up for a sell right now, guys. So let me put this here. We're setting up for a sell in the sell zone. Setting up for a short. It hasn't reached it yet. I'm sorry. The sell zone's up here at 97.5. The sell zone's 97.5 to 03. Did not make the team yet. So we'll watch for these setups during the day. You don't get a lot of the 25s. When you do, they're very accurate. So we'll put that in there like this. We'll take the 24/7 chart out until 2 o'clock or until 1:25. We'll put the NYMEX in, all trading session. There's your NYMEX. There's your sell zone. You can see it gives you a leading indicator where this thing should reverse. So now we can see that very clearly. Then what I'll do is I'll slide this over our overall big trend zone, and I'll put our big zones over here. So now you can differentiate the difference between a deep zone and a shallow zone trade setup. All right, so let's take a look. I'll put this over here for you guys in the room so we can see them. And now you can overlap these. I had these overlapped all week, the last week and a half. I just really want you to I really want you to see the difference in deep zone trading versus this shallow zone trading. Because the shallow zone trading, you get a lot with trend. Now you're going to get some without trend, which you can take. But if you only want to take trend trades, specifically only trend trades, you can just use the 165 as our zone trend filter. In other words, you're going to get counter trades against this if you wanted to take them. I'm going to show you. So if you get into a counter trade, let's find a counter trade. This one didn't produce. 24/7 produces a lot of counters. Right here. So here's a counter. Here's a counter move. You don't have to take these, but they do produce counter moves. That's a sell zone. It's against trend, right? I educate going with trend if you're doing a 1-165 because they're easy to spot. Easy to spot. There's your next sell zone. Just move down. Very simple to spot. Now you see your deep zones over here. Easy to spot. So I want to keep this in a room like this for right now so you get used to the system. What I'm finding for the feedback I'm getting, there's so much information that you have to process of what zone to buy and sell and all that stuff. Keep it simple. Deep zones, you're looking for big moves. Trend filter doesn't matter. These zones can reverse price and move the market significantly in right here. I mean, that's a huge move in the market, right? Huge move in the market here at 950 yesterday. So these by themselves don't matter with trend. The 25, widen it to a 54.30, lowest 54.28, and then look for trend sells only. Okay? Yeah, you go into strategy. You go to strategy, Don. You go to strategy, and Steve will answer your question too here. And the strategy, you leave the same. The strategy you want to change to a 1-165 only on the Uni Rinco if you want more trade setups. On the 1-165, Don. Only on the strategy, you just change the trend only. The indicators where you change your zone. Your zones, you widen the zone, put just to a 25, and put it to a 54.30 if you want to widen the zone. Okay, Don, only on the indicator. Steve, give your thoughts having two charts, one with 25 and 160 on the other one. You don't need to because your 1-100 is still going to pick the trades. It may give you one or two more trades extra, the 1-165 than the 1-100, but you don't need to do that. You can if you want. You may get one or two trades that are different during the session from 8:30 to 1:30. If you want additional trades, you can do that, Steve. What Steve's saying is instead of using the 1-165 like this, you use a 1-100. Here, let me show you the reasoning. Here, let's just dive in this and let me show you why. All right, when I use a 1-165 as my 30-year back-tested zone, and I'm only taking trend trades. Here's red. Here's my sim 25 zone. Sell. Then it turned green. There's your buy. Then it turned green. Buy, right? So there's 4 setups yesterday from 8:30 to 1:30. Real nice setups. What if I go in and like Steve's saying, and I change this to 1-100? I'm going to keep the same setups highlighted. I want to show you. What it does, it smooths out your zones. So now it's a longer zone, so you're not going to get as many setups, but it's not going to catch the volatility as much. Now when we come in, now see what we got is we have a couple different setups that are now working. This buy setup never got caught. This buy setup never got caught. This buy setup never got caught, right? So what did it catch? It caught this sell zone. It caught this sell zone because it's a smooth out, right? And then it caught this sell zone. Just out. This is just outside of time of day, so I won't count that one. But then it caught this sell zone. So you see how it's not catching. It's not sensitive enough to catch the trend up. Makes sense? So I just leave it. I want to bring this to you because now you're going to get more setups with my 65 because that's a trend we've always used. It's a little bit more sensitive to price action. The key is widening this thing out to not the strategy, but the indicator to my zone. If you want more setups, widen that out to 54.30. I put 1-165. That's not good. Put 65. Okay. Everybody on the same page what we're doing? Everybody on the same page what we're doing in the room? Give me a Y. I'm going to make it easier for you to see trades in here, guys, because then you're going to get more comfortable with the system. When I overlap the 200 and 100 and all these different setups, it's a little bit too much information for you to process if you don't understand it. So I'm going to make it simple. We're looking for trend trades only inside a zone. And then if you want to trade the algorithm, the automated algorithm, you can do that also because it's easier, because guess what the algorithm does? It only trades with overall zone trend. So now you're matched up with the automated algorithm also, right? You're matched up with the automatic algorithm. And then I'll leave this, I'll leave the big pushes over here if you get inside of it, like it did yesterday, where market possibly could reverse. All right. These are big levels that I'll leave it on there. This way you guys can see it. A lot easier for you guys to see setups during the trading day. All right.